Fayette County School Board has told its superintendent to stay home as it decides what to do next. In a special meeting Wednesday, the school board put Superintendent Dr. Demetrius Liggins on paid administrative leave. That followed an email Liggins sent to FCPS Board Chair Tyler Murphy, writing he wanted to leave the job and pursue a separation agreement. During Wednesday's meeting, the school board rejected the idea of a separation agreement. It also hired a law firm to, quote, review information regarding Liggins' employment.
The board is united in the success of Fayette County Public Schools and our students. And we're focused on moving the district forward. We're focused on ensuring that the district is on stable footing, academically and otherwise. And so that's going to continue to be our priority.
The school board also named Assistant Superintendent Dr. Bill Bradford to serve as interim superintendent. All right, Trey, it's been a whirlwind week for Fayette County schools. What's really going on over there?
I'd like to know that too. I think that we probably, as the week bore on, we ended the week with more questions than we began the week with. Demetrius Liggins resigned, and then it wasn't a resignation. It was a request to talk about a resignation, and then it was you've insulted me by misreading my email, and so now I'm not resigning at all. And then it was you're suspended. We don't know the whys behind any of it. The original email was sent at 3:13 in the morning. Is there ever a time to send an email at 3:13 in the morning, you think? No, my father always told me nothing good happens after midnight. Just put your phone down, stay at home. I don't think you could write like an HBO drama about government that would be this weird in a week. As a Fayette County taxpayer and as a Fayette County public school parent, I'm confused. I feel bad for the educators in the classroom. I feel bad for the principals, the people in the building, on the ground, because it reflects poorly on them, even though they're doing a good job. I don't think the problems that this district is having are not in the classroom problems. They are in the central office problems. And those are the folks I feel bad for are the teachers and the frontline educators, because they're the interactive face with the community, and none of this is their fault. Yeah, that's a good point, Jared. You've talked to some of the Democratic legislators here in Fayette County, and I know they had signed a thing earlier in the year asking for Dr. Liggins to resign. Do you think legislators are considering any interventions?
I don't know. I think if you see things where, and we talked about this on the podcast show, you see things where if there's a big buyout or a big number, I think you're going to see maybe legislators going to get involved, thinking that that's probably not deserved. But these things happen, and honestly, I think legislators got a pretty full plate for an interim session as they are right now, and we're going to get to some of that later in the show. So I think they're watching, and we'll see. The next move is going to be how the contract is bought out, if it's bought out, or if they fire him with cause.
You think that'll be bipartisan? The reaction?
Well, it was bipartisan.
And honestly, there's nothing they can do until January, because the legislature unless the governor were to call them back into special session to deal with it, which I can't foresee happening, there's nothing they can do until January. They can just talk about it.
True. So, Trey, what would a contract buyout mean for students and for parents in the community?
I would think it means that they got ripped off. I said when we recorded our podcast earlier today, as a parent, as a taxpayer, I will be personally insulted if he is not let go with cause at this point. I think that there is substantial cause. Certainly, based on what we know so far, the financial discrepancies started in 2008, at least as early as 2008. But he's been superintendent for 4 years, and the fact that the state auditor is the one who found the problems, not him, not his auditing firms that he's hired, that is a dereliction of leadership. I think there's substantial reason for cause to fire him, and I think the school board, any money that they would pay him in a settlement or some sort of buyout, I think they should put it into legal defense fund and wait for him to file a suit to stop it. I think they should let him go with cause.
Jared, is there any precedent for this kind of a buyout?
Well, I think, if I'm not, I believe the person before Dr. Polio in Louisville in Jefferson County,
Dr. Hargens.
I think she got a big buyout, but that was kind of like they were just like, we want to start fresh and clean, and maybe she didn't want to leave, and they're like, We want to start fresh and clean. How much for you to go away so we can start over again? And, it's just these things, superintendents have different contracts. We saw legislation this past session addressing that issue. But also they can be, they're basically at will employees of the board. They can be fired at any time. And when you find a good superintendent, you want to hang on to them as much as you can. DL's problems were not in the classroom, and they weren't not in facilities and old buildings, and his problems were in his finance shop. And at the end of the day, you're the boss. So.
Okay, well, I think, Trey, you had brought up earlier the auditor's report, which really only came about because of the occupational licensure tax increase proposal and all of that. Why do you think the auditor's office was the first to catch this?
That's a good question. I think that, I think we discussed last night with State Senator Matt Nunn. I think the legislature needs to ask questions about the auditing firm and how the audits in the past didn't catch these things. Because guess what? There's an auditing firm somewhere out there who fell down at their job, and other localities probably need to know what auditing firm that was, what the problems were. I think there's a caution. In government, a lot of times, it's not about fixing the problem that occurred. It's figuring out what happened and creating a cautionary tale to stop future problems. And I think that's a situation here.
And what's interesting about this is the financial mismanagement that the state auditor has found predates Liggins.
It goes back 4 superintendents.
It goes back 4 superintendents. So
then we know it could go back
either
further.
there's a structural flaw, in some finance mechanism in there, or maybe somebody's doing something that they shouldn't be doing.
We're going to have to leave it right there, folks.